All right, the Reds, it's Talking Reds live from Liverpool from the Anfield Wrap studio near the Liverpool waterfront here. And we are joined today by Fuad Hasan.
All right, the Reds, it's
Whoa!
Liverpool.
Hello, you bellend. Didn't mean for that to happen, you know. This is what happens when you do it live off the Reds. We're going to talk first of all about the League Cup. We're just going to call it the League Cup this time instead of going through the many names that it's been referred to over the years. But yeah, Fuad, the Reds have drawn Preston North End. We found out last night. Been a while since we played those boys. We did play them in a friendly, which I took my little lad to. That was his first ever game. He was more interested in getting a hot dog though than actually watching the game. But you know, that's how these things sometimes go. Also, we were down there in 2009 for an FA Cup game. We won 2-0. I went to that one. It was a good night out. I remember as well though, when I was telling Fuad before that, you know, it was when we had Robbie Keane and he had a bit of a shocker that night, missed the sitter if I remember rightly. But also we had this weird thing which Fuad didn't remember because he's a younger lad and there's nothing wrong with that. But there was this weird thing where it was like Irish fans loved him and were absolutely desperate for him to be a success at Liverpool. Scousers were like, see what happens. And then it was like the Irish lads all started singing Keano, Keano, and the Scousers are going, that's a fucking Roy Keane song. And then we get a song, his name's not fucking Keano, Robbie Keane. Which is just brilliant, you know. So you had like, there was literally a match, I can't remember what match it was, where like one bit of the cop was singing Keano, Keano, and the other bit was singing his name's not fucking Keano, Robbie Keane. That is a unique thing in Liverpool history. That's never happened before. But no, what did you think of the draw?
No, it was
decent,
good.
Isn't it?
It is decent. It was interesting last night, wasn't it? Because suddenly all the WhatsApp groups came alive. Everyone got really excited and kind of trying to figure out ways to get there. There's chat of boats, there's chat of buses. So we'll see what happens. But it's a good draw. I mean, if we're talking about the actual team and everything, it's another chance for a lot of those younger lads to get in, because you do think if it's, you know, a bigger Premier League team, then it might be a little bit harder to play a couple of them. But this should give them a chance again, and you know, loads of them deserved another go in the cup, and you know that we're all the better for it, because these are the opportunities where we can see if these players kind of have it in them to make those steps, and that's the only way progress is going to be made. Yeah,
it's the last 16 as well, so you know, if we can get through this and get through one more, then all of a sudden, you know, you're very interested in potentially winning it all of a sudden, and the conversations massively change. And on that score, Fuad, we've obviously already seen Everton go out to QPR. Last night we saw Man United go out to West Ham. And then, you know, the draw last night, there's loads of all Premier League ties. So there's Chelsea, Southampton, there's Arsenal, Leeds, there's West Ham, Man City, there's Leicester, Brighton, there's Burnley, Tottenham. So, you know, obviously that means, you know, one set of Premier League sides is all going to go out of the draw for the next round. And then you've got QPR and Sunderland together. So there's an easier looking tie there. And do you know what I mean? It does feel like to me that all of a sudden it's like, it's opening up this as let's go for it, why not?
Yeah, and you know, lots of the bigger sides didn't really look too convincing, even though some of them played lesser opposition. So you know, if they are going to rotate, there could be a couple of little upsets in that draw, and you know, that's what you want going into the next round. You want to kind of delay playing the best teams, I think, in this competition till the end. So there's no reason why, if we go again with the same fellas, that we can go to the next stage. And once you, like you said, once you get there, then you kind of start looking at interest. Maybe, you know, it's unlikely the manager will rotate again, but that there's an opportunity there to win a trophy really early on in the season, and something that we haven't won under this manager.
Yeah, it's been a while. Last time, of course, was under Kenny Dalglish. So, you know, why not? Basically, there is the talent there is the opportunity to rotate. And now, as I say, the competition is opening up, it seems. And, you know, last night, of course, Man United made 11 changes, West Ham made 10, and West Ham knocked them out the cup anyway. Won 1-0. Man United had 27 attempts on goals, 61% possession. Hilarious, brilliant. I'm a little bit worried though, Fuad. I'm a little bit torn on it, in that on the one hand it's always hilarious when Man United get beat and are out of any competition ever. But equally, I don't want him to do that badly that he actually gets sacked, because I love the idea that someone somewhere thinks he can actually do this job and that he's an elite manager, because he's not. He's nowhere near the level of Jurgen Klopp. And it's like, you know, if you just want to persist with him and you want to pretend and you want his mates in his media carry on bigging him up, like, so you need to win a game now just to keep the wolf from the door.
Exactly. There's a sweet spot, isn't there, with it, where
is.
you need him to keep kind of trotting along and picking up little wins here and there. And look, from their point of view, they're probably happy that they're out of the League Cup, because I reckon they're probably more kind of interested in finishing as high as possible in the league and in Europe as well. So, he didn't seem too down about it. But if they go on a little run where they lose a few, we'll start getting worried that the end is near for him, because I just don't think he knows what he's doing with some of the plays he's got there. Like, if you're Jadon Sancho, you're kind of thinking, there's all these other managers. Look, maybe Liverpool couldn't pay the money or whatever, but they're these like top level managers out there who could really transform me into one of the best players in the world. And he sort of stuck with him.
I know, it's absolutely wild. But let's see what happens with that. On Preston as well, currently 16th in the Championship. Played 8 this season in the league, won 2, drawn 3, lost 3. Which doesn't sound that great, but then, credible draw with West Ham at home last time out, who were odds on for promotion. Preston are 50-1 to get into the Premier League next season. Wow. They got a draw away at Sheffield United before that. And they've got Sepp van der Berg, who's doing all right. He's getting regular minutes and regular games there. Someone asked in the comments if he's eligible to play. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure how that works. We'll have to find that one out. If someone does know, do shout up. But as I said before, I know we're messing about, but it is only up the road. They will give us, I imagine, the whole end they did last time around. And look, all of a sudden, like a competition that's, been devalued and discussed all week as being, not that important. That's quite a tasty one. And as you say, lots and lots of people seem to fancy this one, though.
Exactly. It's got all the hallmarks already for
Bill Shankly Derby.
There we go. Yes, it's got all these little tags attached to it. The fact it's so close, the Bill Shankly thing. Just the Wednesday night as well. So it has all the kind of makings of being a really fun evening, I think, and a really good day out on that Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm excited. I mean, any spares?
Yeah, any spares? I'll have a spare as well. Nice one. In terms of the odds now, I thought I'd have a look at them, because I just thought it's interesting that I do feel as though Liverpool are coming up on the rails now as being a potential winner of this competition. Man City, though, the favourites, you'd sort of expect that given their recent record in the competition. So they're 5-2, Chelsea 5-1, Liverpool 6-1, and then this is ridiculous, Arsenal 10-1. As if they're going to win it. But yeah, 6-1 sounds all right for the Reds. Yeah. That I reckon, if you're into having a flutter, that's worth a little flutter. I've got another topic, which is safe standing, which we'll get into in a sec. But let's just have a little look through the comments and see what we've got. We has, however, got loads of crisp comments. Read a few of them out. Discos are the GOAT of crisp, says Nathan Clark. What else have we... someone's done a pun. The Wolfman regular, the Wolfman's got nards. He says, we could, but Liverpool are utilising the squad well to prevent players becoming frazzled. See what he's done
good.
There?
Really good.
I like a frazzle.
It's getting more creative every week.
Yeah. Keep on going. We're never going to skip it. Skip.
No.
That Preston draw made me happier than it should, says John McLean. Darryl says, I'm from Liverpool, Netherly, but live in Thailand. Gareth, you'd love the noodles here. Spicy tom yum are my favourite. Blow your head off. But there's no good crisps here whatsoever. Sounds about the crisp situation there, but the noodles sound fantastic. There's Ryder Cup chat. We're not going to get into that. I'm not into that. I could say
I've
literally
never seen
not.
it in my life.
No, I'm not a golf fan. I've had to go to golf once and it was shit. So we'll crack on. Walker's spicy mix-ups get a shout. Daniel says the quadruple is on. John is worried about midfield injuries until Thiago comes back. Someone says they love Solskjaer, I presume ironically. Someone says, mates with a few United fans over here in Dublin, they love Rice Krispies head. So unless the arse falls out completely, he's staying for a bit. That's good. Yeah. That's good, isn't it? We don't want him back on the box of Rice Krispies. We want him fucking Man United up long term. Someone says, so true. So true, don't fire Ollie. We want to manage him for years. We get a shout for kettle chips, which should come with a warning because they break your teeth and make you deaf. There you go. I mean, that's just one person's opinion. If you're watching kettle chips, it's not the opinion of the Anfield Wrap. Other crisps are available. More shouts about Ole staying and stuff like that. Someone wants us to talk about Salah's contract. I mean, there's no news whatsoever on it, mate. So, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. We have talked about it lots of times, of course, Fuad. I mean, we all want it signed. I think we're all prepared and happy for him to be the best paid player ever at Liverpool. What I can say is I saw Michael Owen over the weekend saying that would disrupt the dressing room, etc. I've got a thing about this. Like, I hear that theory a lot, but genuinely, if you could sit down with everyone in the Liverpool squad and say, what would you prefer? Mo Salah gets paid more than you, or he goes?
Yeah.
Because surely it means you, as not Mo Salah, is more likely to win something because you've got Mo Salah on the same side as you.
Exactly. It's completely different if it's a player coming into the club, you know, and he's breaking the wage structure and you're paying Mbappe or someone like that 400 grand a week or something. But Salah's been there from the beginning of this kind of this episode of this Liverpool team, and he's earned it progressively. And you know, you can tell how much he's appreciated, loved within the squad. You know, we absolutely love him, don't we? And I think it's something that needs to kind of be sorted, I think, soon. There's no worry about it, I don't think. The manager seems fairly cool about it, and they all, you know, it's clear that they all want it done. And it's not really kind of in his hands in terms of all the negotiations, all of that. It's upstairs. So I think we just got to kind of have the faith that he's going to sign it.
I've got Oliver here saying, thanks for the no context Jimmy Corkill. Robbo, no problem at all. If anyone wants to get onto that, if you remember Brookside, or even if you don't, do look up no context Jimmy Corkill on both Instagram and Twitter. It's fantastic. Just loads of clips of Jimmy Corkill. And if you loved Brookside, you'll love that. And if you love Liverpool, you might just laugh at it anyway without even knowing what Brookside is. What else have we got? I don't remember these. In the 90s, there was spaghetti sauce Monster Munch. I mean, they sound awful for one. But two, I don't remember them. Ian Kirbishley says, Solskjaer eats Benson's crisps. Tato, cheese and onion gets another shout there, which is quite right. They are fantastic. And then we'll do the second topic, which is safe standing. Safe standing, it was announced yesterday. I mean, I sort of thought this would be coming, but they've basically said that legally now, from early next year, there will be some sides in the Premier League and the Championship that will trial safe standing. You know, so there won't be stewards telling people to stand down. People will be able to stand in those areas that like what we've got at Anfield legally. Now, it's believed at this point that Liverpool will be one of the clubs to put the hand up and do it. As far as I know, up to this point, that's not confirmed. But this pilot programme will start on January the 1st. That is confirmed. And I think it's fantastic that, you know, finally we've got here after a long, long time. You know, it's rare that I say these words, Fuad, but common sense has prevailed.
That's for once in football, it has. Yeah, it's great. I think it's something like you said, it's a long time coming. We've been going to the matches for, well, you a lot longer than me, but you know, you can already kind of tell that the demand for it's there. You got this thing where some people want to sit, a lot of people want to stand, for various different reasons, and now is sort of the time where we kind of sort this issue out. I don't know if you've had a chance to go on the rail seating on the Kop.
I'm literally like, I think we counted it on Saturday. Yeah. I think I'm like 6 rows in front of it.
It's brilliant though.
I've just really missed out.
Good. Yeah, you've just missed out. I've been there for a couple of games, the Milan game, and you know, when it does go off and you know, we get the third goal, you kind of just have that extra layer of just like safety from just going over.
Exactly.
And you know, sometimes you're in front of an older fella or someone, you know, a little bit disabled or something like that. So you kind of are conscious of that and don't want to, you know, go flying into them, but you can't control it because you've got people
little
around
kids
you.
As well. I mean,
kids, exactly.
I've been to Celtic and Shrewsbury actually, and seen the safe standing sections there. We did do a video diary of when I went to Celtic, which is still available on the Anfield Wrap's YouTube channel if you want to look that up. On that, we explain what safe standing is, what rail seating is, how it works. We show you on the video how it works, but then you also see the end that I was in that day, and it was fantastic. As you say, I always remember what always sticks in my head about being in that end that day was there was a fella with his kid, and he was absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you were stood in a seating section and it was the same fella and the same kid, I think you'd be looking at him thinking, well, if we score like a last minute goal here or something, I don't know where your kid might end up there, sorry mate. What they've done as well, which I think is a positive, what I noticed when I was looking at it Saturday, because I was in a little bit early, was currently in the Kop, you've got these sort of like rounded back seats that tend to end up in your shins when you're celebrating goals. What they've done in the safe standing bit further back is they put new backs on the seats that are straight. So you've actually got a bit of leg room. So when you want to sit down, like before the match half time or whatever, you've actually got a bit more leg room as well. I was looking at them going, you bastards, because I'm still there with like my knees crammed against some fella's back when I want to have a little sit there before the game starts, and they've got well more room. So now it does make sense, and it says here that clubs must apply to be part of the early adopter programme by October the 6th, and if approved, will be able to operate a licensed standing area from New Year's Day until the end of the season, and they'll just sort of see how that goes. But you know, it's long been the case elsewhere. Celtic I mentioned, in Europe as well. So I really can't see anything going wrong. And actually, I would say it's been the other way for me in that I've almost been waiting for something to go wrong with the current situation we've got. I mean, you know, you look at some of the stands that have been built in newer grounds and stuff like that. Everyone's standing up. Like I'm thinking like upper tiers and things like that. And you're just like, I mean, you don't need join the dots of what could happen. So making it safer, absolute no-brainer, and that looks like the direction we're now heading, which is great news. And the Anfield Wrap has been behind that all of the way. Someone's mentioned, there's some questions on this. Someone's shouting for Tunnocks. I mean, that's a whole different ball game. That may come on. Someone says they think Klopp should be the highest paid person at the club. Love Brookie, says someone there. Does safe standing increase capacity a bit, says Joey. Now, there is a way for it to do that, but I believe that isn't what they're aiming for currently. So it's just 1-for-1 currently is what they're doing. So there isn't, I think everyone's playing it really safe with this, rightly so. So, you know, there may be ways to redesign ends to get more people in, but right now I don't think that's the priority. It's more, let's trial it, let's have a look at it, let's make sure it's safe, and then let's go from there. So I don't think that's going to be something the clubs are currently considering, but maybe in the future, if they believe it's all safe, they will do. I
think they do that in Europe as well. When you go to European stadiums, we've had it for a lot longer. They've still got that 1-for-1 kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't know if that will change over here, to be honest.
I feel like I've talked a lot there. I'm gagging for a brew. We've got loads of stuff on the Anfield Wrap as ever. So if you want more from us and more from the rest of the Anfield Wrap team, then do go and have a look at theanfieldwrap.com. Download our app on all platforms. You get some free tokens and you can have a go at premium content. And if you like it, subscribe. Also check out other stuff on our YouTube channel, which includes 5 minutes or so of free content from some of those premium shows as well, so you can get a little taster of what they're about, and then if it's for you, you can sign up, subscribe and get involved properly. And we do thank everyone for their support so far in the 10 years that we've been doing this. Nice one to Fuad, nice one for you, to you for joining in, nice one for everyone who's throwing comments in. Should we do one more? I can see capital letters from Chad. It caught my attention. He says, should Minamino get more minutes?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think. Look, you can get carried away that he's done all right in friendlies, and he's done all right when he's played against Norwich there. Let's see what he's like against tougher opposition, I would say. But you know, because you're not going to know, and so get him on the pitch as a sub. Do you know what I mean? Get him on sort of last 15 in games if we can, and let's see what he's about. Let's see where he's up to. But I thought, Fuad, to be honest, that when he was out on loan, you know, little snippets that I saw of him at Southampton, I thought, well, there's something there.
He's a really good finisher. You know, I think that's something that's gone on the radar a little bit with him.
The second one was a cracker the other night.
Yeah, it was.
It was even a bit, I mean, I'm not saying he's like him, but the finish was a bit rushy.
Yeah, well,
do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't know, but
it was just the way he just sort of paused for a second and then it was a cool poacher's finish.
He's got that instinct. Pep Lijnders spoke about him being, you know, just like unique in terms of in training, being able to find himself one-on-one constantly. And you know, there's definitely a space for that, and something that's needed within our squad, I think, for when we come up against like tight opposition who crowd the edge of the area and there's not much space there. He's got that natural ability to find space and to kind of create gaps for himself. And if the finish is there, then, you know, that's everything you want in a forward. So I think, yeah, I'm all for Minamino.
There you go. Yes, for Minamino. It's going along the bottom there. You can see all of the stuff coming out on the Anfield Wrap today. There's stuff every day. So if you want to watch something, you want to listen to something, you want to read something about the Reds, there's always stuff there on the Anfield Wrap. There's a good question here. I keep saying we're going and I see another question and I think, oh, hang on. Good job you changed that battery, Judd. King Kenny says, do you think beer should be allowed in the stands in England? Cool. Now, this is another like ancient law, basically, that to me doesn't really stack up in the modern game. So you can actually be arrested for having a beer in your hand and being in sight of the pitch. And I've seen stewards and police not nick people for that, but certainly sort of remind people. Like, I can remember being at Old Trafford and someone sort of walked up the steps to sort of look out to see, you know, if the teams were warming up or whatever, and had a bevy. And someone was like, you know, and pointed out this law, and that's just daft.
Wild.
You know, it's wild. It is wild, and there's plenty of people in the executive boxes up and down the country who are definitely having a bevy inside to the pitch, and yet they don't get warned by police. So, classist much, but
and every other sport as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ridiculousness of it. Like, you know, you get rugby league games occasionally at Anfield, and there will be people literally in the seat I use for my season ticket at Anfield in the car with a beer, watching a match, and it's like, what's the difference? You know, just because they're a rugby fan and I'm a football fan, why am I penalising? And also, if there's a thing about, oh, well, there's a drinking culture around football, which obviously there is for a lot of people, well, currently what you've got is people go in as late as possible because they're staying in the boozer. It's like they smash the ale knowing that they can't really have a bevy during the match.
Yeah.
Then they're rushing more bevies at half time, and then they go to the pub again at full time. And it's like, I don't know, maybe people might take it a bit more easier if they know they can just have a little sip on a bev during the game. I mean, again, it feels to me like maybe you should do what they're doing with safe standing and just have a little trial here and there, have trial matches and see what happens, because all these supposed horror stories around it, I think, are nonsense. But until they do it again, well, we won't know, and that allows the nonsense to carry on. What do you think about it?
No, exactly the same. I think, you know, you go into Europe again. I remember Salzburg away a couple of years ago. You're allowed ale on the ground. You're allowed to take it to your seat.
Yeah.
There were no issues at all. It was absolutely fine. And you mentioned rugby league. You know, we're talking about drinking culture and sport. You just have to look at cricket. I mean, they're cutting to the crowd making beer trains every 5 minutes, and it's really kind of embedded in that. So there's definitely something wrong there in terms of how things are perceived, and how, you know, certain sports that are normally associated with maybe certain classes are getting a kind of free pass with this. And what we're seeing now is, you know, what we need to see now is this kind of gone. And we, like you're saying, with the safe standing, if you can bring it in at roughly the same time, maybe a little bit later, then give it a go. And I'm really pretty certain it'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah. When we were in Melbourne watching the Reds, you could have a bevy in that end as well, and also the area we were in. Yeah. It said on your ticket, this is an active area. So it was basically, you know, like you if you went in this bit, you were standing, you were shouting, you were supporting, you were waving flags and all the rest of it. And I that's always stuck with me. That I loved that A, you could have a bevy, but B, I loved it that it literally said on your ticket, if you're going in this bit, it's an active area. So, you know, you can't be going, come on, can you all sit down? You know what I mean? And that's all we're talking about with safe standing. It's let's have the choice here. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If people want to stand, if people want to be passionate, if people want to go mad, we'll let them do it safely. And if people want to sit down because that's not for them, sound, let them as well. You know, it's not. No one is saying let's go back to the dangerous terraces of the 80s. But, you know, this is a different place. Good progress, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more. Tom says, I've just tuned in. Am I too late for the crisp chat?
You're never too late, Tom.
I mean, I think you are this time around. But, you know, tune in next time for more heavy crisp chat. We're going to leave it there because my mouth is absolutely parched. Fuad's getting the bruise on now. Up the Reds.